I love a real quick message to you today. This is Reverend Valerie Love, and I'm chatting with you for a real brief moment about one of my books, Soulgasm. I get a lot of questions about what are your books, Val? What books have you written? And I haven't really talked about my books here on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Soulgasm today. Even better than that, I'll read you a passage from Soulgasm. So the day that I'm filming this is May 16th. So Soulgasm, what is it? It is, as you can see, daily meditations to co-create and manifest a bliss-filled life. That is Soulgasm. Daily meditations to manifest a bliss-filled life. So let's go to today's date, and I'll show you the inside of Soulgasm. This is a day-to-day book, so it has 366 messages in it. Here's what it looks like. See, this is message 137, May 16th. I notice, and I'll read you the passage that, yes, I underlined it, and I'll read you at the bottom. It has a quote. At the top, it has the message for the message for the day. Then it has a quote here. Then it has the passage, and then it has another quote at the bottom from sacred scripture. So I'll read you today's Soulgasm. This is message 137. May 16th, I notice. I think it pisses God off if you walk by the color purple in a field somewhere and don't notice it. People think pleasing God is all God care about, but any fool living in the world can see it always trying to please us back. That's Alice Walker from The Color Purple. Make a point to notice what's blooming around you. What's the sky like over your head? What smells are wafting through the air? Notice. Be hyper aware. Your habit of noticing will quickly land you at appreciation. Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. So I want to share with you a little message about myself and about overcoming depression, because I had a really deep depression, a bout with depression when I was 29 years old, moving into 30. And at 30, I had a complete soul awakening. And when I was laying in a depression bed, so depressed I could barely lift my finger and lift my head off the bed. I had a baby, and I think the only way the baby lived was because I was nursing her, because I certainly didn't have it in me to get up and make bottles. So when I was laying there on a depression bed, I was realizing that the reason I was having this depression was because I was living a life that was inauthentic. It wasn't the true expression of my soul and why I came here. I wasn't living according to my soul's destiny. I was living according to what people had told me from the time I was 4 to the time I was 29 as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So for 25 years, I pretty much did what people told me to do. I was a good girl. And at 30, my soul said, no more. I've had enough. Either you're going to live authentic and you're going to go on your own search for truth for yourself, live your soul's destiny, or you're going to be out. And I remember the day that I went to the medicine cabinet, and I looked in the medicine cabinet, and there I had some 800 milligram Motrin that the doctor had given it to me because it was for the pain after I had a baby. And I remember looking at that bottle of pills and thinking if I just took a few of them, maybe I would just go to sleep, and not really consciously saying I was going to take myself out yet. That was the underlying thought, that I would just take a nap. I would just kind of drift out and not be here anymore. And that thought actually scared me back to, oh, what would happen to my kids if I took myself out? So I didn't, thank God. So fast forward, I went on my own search for truth, my own quest, and eventually the way that I overcame depression was by listening to the voice. The voice said, get up. And I got up one day, and the voice said, get dressed, go outside. Now that was a monumental task for me because I had been in the bed with the curtains drawn, everything dark inside. Go outside. Whew. I had to muster everything I could just to go outside. I went outside, it said breathe. I was like, breathe. Now when I went outside and the sunlight hit me, it was almost like sun hitting a vampire. That's how dark I had gotten used to it being. I went outside and said, look up. I looked up at the sky. And when I looked up at the sky, I felt something fall off of me simultaneous to that. And I realized later when I was reading and studying that looking up at the sky lifts depression. And it said, breathe. And I started breathing. And it said, walk. That's what the voice told me. It said, get up, go outside, look up, breathe, walk. And that took me straight out of a depression. I followed the steps, step by step, as it was telling me. Because probably if it had given me those 5 commands at one time, I probably wouldn't have even been able to latch on to all 5 of them. So it gave me the commands step by step as I was able to even do them. And I tell you one thing, I started walking and walking and walking and breathing and looking up and feeling the life returning to my body and to my mind and new awarenesses. And the awareness came to me was that I was not living my soul's destiny, and it was time for me to do that. So the reason why I share this story with you is because you may be depressed, or you may have been depressed when you landed here. And you landed here for a reason, because I asked for you to come here and to see this message. I asked to see you and to get a hold of you before you got some pills, or before you jumped off a bridge, or before you OD'd, or before you took a razor to your wrists. The things that you might have been thinking about doing. I asked for you to come and see this message before you took that step, and to know that I was there right at the brink of giving up this human life, this incarnation, and something in me whipped me back from the edge. And I pray that this whips you back from the edge. Once you get this message, I want you to go to my website, valerielove.com, and I want you to grab any prayer that you can. Click on articles. And I want you to grab any prayer that speaks to your mind, read through the titles, and just grab on to anything that speaks to you. Print it out, free, and read it every day, all day, if you have to. Carry it with you. Put it in your purse, put it in your pocket, whatever you have to do to live your destiny on this planet. There's a reason why you're here. And it's bigger than you, and it's bigger than your pain, and it's bigger than your suffering, and it's bigger than anything you've ever been through. You can get through it, because that which is in you that is greater than you will bring you through it. And if you feel so inclined, get Soulgasm. Because I tell you one thing, it would be impossible to read about 10 pages from this in succession and not feel uplifted and inspired. Because that is the purpose of this book, to support you in experiencing peace, prosperity, purpose, passion, all blended together so that your soul experiences Soulgasm. I love you. Mwah. Valerie Love. I pray we meet in person one day and you tell me the story of how you came back from the edge and what your life has been about since then. Be blessed.